First one we're going to be using, you should be able to see me in there. So red, orange, and yellow guy. So this is, what do you think we're looking for out of this? Opposite. Cold spots. So we're literally looking for cold spots. So like that's what this is, it's meant for, heat and cold, but I do have it set up to seek out the cold. There's a blue dot bouncing around your screen. You're gonna see that it's gonna give you different temperatures as it bounces around. I'm looking for 15-degree temperature drops. It's 79 degrees out here. That means I'm looking for 64 degrees and colder coming out of that blue dot. There's also a center crosshair, so if you want to measure something directly, all you got to do is move the camera so that way the center crosshairs lands on that particular thing that you want to measure. So I'm always looking for the blue and black because that's going to be our cold spots to either move or take shape. We're always going to have blue or black because windshields, glass, aluminum cans, they're all going to be of different temperature. So I want them to move or take shape. The shape I'm looking for is the head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. You guys are hopefully seeing my point. I also love to give you stats about my equipment. This particular camera, this is what firemen would use to basically go help save people in a burning building. Okay, so it's just what it's meant for. Now, I capture 4 to 5 pieces on this guy per year, not per episode. I just like to point that out that I'm not a TV show host and I'm not here to make shit up. So when we do find something, obviously you'll have the markers and probably a lot of screenshots. So hopefully if you see something in real time, I'll take a few notes because I do keep a notepad with me. And again, this is your start and stop button. I'll kind of give you the heads up for starts and stops because we don't want to record in between spaces if it wants to. So welcome to a parking lot. Congrats, you made it. I told you I'd take you to weird spots. But this place used to be something, just holy cow, what is all over that truck? It just caught me by surprise when I turned my head. But obviously we have a few cars in here. I would say we got about a dozen, if not a little bit less. So you're going to be very mindful of not going near cars. People get really weirded out. But I take you to spaces that other ghost tours don't come to. They don't come here because there's nothing to see. However, this place is relevant to the history of Charleston, which is exactly why we're here. So, by the way, it's a congrats. You made it to a parking lot. It was a joke, everybody. I've got to get you guys to lighten up a little bit. So this place used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of this space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with the Five Church Restaurant and went all the way across. And then the servant and slave quarters were in the back of the space where all those cars are parked. So that's the layout of the land. So who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks in case you weren't paying attention, which is exactly why we look for those secondary clues that I mentioned earlier. So that way we know which Charles is coming through. So if we have the name Charles that shows up over there, hopefully you're going to be able to define which one it actually is so we know how to address them. So the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined, especially this year. So we're going to talk about Eliza instead. If I don't give the gentlemen their recognition, they will do it for me in a nasty manner through a spirit box. So just make sure I give them their recognition and we move on. So Eliza, she marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it slowly because if you're going to ask her how old she was, and your thing will give you numbers as well. If you're going to ask her, don't expect numbers from the colonial days of when she came from, like from the 1700s. Think of today's standards because the husband was over double her age. It was creepy then, it's creepy now. Which, by the way, communication devices, this is where I start withholding information on purpose. I'm not going to be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. Hopefully you're going to get the answers from your communication devices. Moving forward, Eliza married him because her father was over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time. Eliza doesn't believe he's dying. She stays put right here, gets married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that particular year to earn a green card. We are not a country yet. There's no such thing. This is a true love story, if nothing else. There is nothing horrific about this location. Point that out. Like, this is a place of respect, if nothing else. Anyway, Eliza was correct. Dad did not die right away. And instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. Some of you are wearing it tonight. So when Eliza got her seeds, no idea what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going. It's not always hot here. Then she learned how to make the dye right here, moved it to a cash crop plantation, got a hold of Dad and told him that the rice plantations were going downhill. They were going to make a killing with the indigo. And now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of. That's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are here.
Did he happen to die of tuberculosis?
No.
Any of them? I keep getting consumption.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Now I'm getting separation.
It's a little vague. separation piece, but I do like consumption.
Yeah.
I will dive in to see if any specific one of the family members did die that way.
Okay.
Because I don't know all of their deaths specifically. I might have their years and ages memorized, but I don't know the hows on all of them.
Okay.
So very interesting piece. So what's going to happen with this location is, I'm sorry, does the light bother you?
I just wanted to be close to my daughter.
So with the two communication devices, I'm going to give you guys focus questions. I want you to remember there's no right or wrong way to do this. You can say these things out loud, or you can just focus on them. Also remember, we have my voice recording, and then Sophia's got a camera with audio. If you're asking a question, it can go to any of the other devices as well. The only thing that's not going to be able to communicate is that. The one, damn it, Caroline, right? We're going to get you guys, I keep wanting to go the opposite way. So you're just basically looking for presence. So hopefully with your high numbers, we're going to have some high activity going on with these two communication devices. So
It was like in the middle.
oh yeah, and they don't stand still. I never know where it's going to show up. I didn't bring us across the middle because I knew it was going to do that. I never know with this location. She's always, ghosts don't stand still. Like, hey, I'm Nick. We're going to talk. Like, that's not how this goes. You're going to wander around the location, just staying away from the cars, and we're going to see how this goes. Any other terms that showed up that I need to know about?
Just came after separate.
Okay. And then any terms that you've been able to make out yet?
Arnold, attorney, 985.
Arnold is weird, huh? We don't hear that name every day.
This is it.
Okay, now you're getting the gist of it.
This is it. That's so weird. No. I got control on that thing. That's what's big.
So nouns, just for the communication.
Sacrifices.
Oh.
Nouns and things like that are what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So asking her how she felt about her marriage or how she felt, I can't prove any of those things. So names, facts, numbers, like the 985, that could be September of 1785. I don't know. I'm going to dive in. So names and numbers are usually the number one thing that I dive into because I can look for those things specifically through Google searches and Boolean searches. So that way, the fun part for me is I know what 90% of the puzzle looks like. Every once in a while you guys come up with something weird like Arnold and 985. I'm like, I don't know what the hell that means until I go back to the office and do the research. I'm a writer. Like, that's what I'm trained to do. This is all about research for me. So when you guys find weird shit, that's where I get excited.
Yeah. Are you getting anything?
Not right now.
You have seen some stuff though?
No.
So the way I explain that camera to her, and I usually do this every single night, is that camera, I capture 4 to 5 pieces per year that I will put my stamp of approval on.
Okay.
Labor. So that camera is
Elite.
elite labor. You can see where I'm like trying to put a story together in there, even though it's me. Hopefully Eliza's going to be very communicative.
So their mansion was here, and she planted the indigo and started a whole trade
Oh yeah.
using that. Okay.
And it wasn't just good for the family. It was good for South Carolina. It was good for the colonies. Like, this was a huge deal. So if this is your first time to our area, you're going to hear a lot about indigo and how it actually helped build up this entire state. And this is pretty much where it all started. So I've watched that thing error out. It went over 200 milligauss.
Oh, wow.
To give you a comparison, your microwave heating up your food on the outside of it is about 150. We left the space. So the reason, I actually have epilepsy. You're my safety director at this point. So you need to let me know if it starts hitting those triple digits and staying there. So that means we're probably going to wrap things up very quickly. I'll give you all of the answers and kind of see how it goes.
Why will that make me have a seizure?
It's a possibility, yes. So yeah, it's a probability. I don't like to take the chance.
So you're not telling us the ages to see if they tell us the ages?
Oh yeah, I'm not telling you a lot of things.
I want to know how old she was. How old were you?
Oh,
Eliza?
I didn't give you guys the full questions yet. So Athena, with your particular spirit box, you're going to be focused on her death based on the type of spirit box that you have. So the 4 major questions we get answers to: how did you die? What did you die from? Or, I'm sorry, age of death. How did you die? Where are you buried? Which president was a pallbearer at your funeral? So you want to ask anything rogue, don't ask about the kids, no yes, no questions, be respectful. It's the only 3 rules at this location. Because again, it is a place of respect. So with yours, you're kind of a catch-all. So hopefully you're going to be able to get some of the answers that she's not getting, but you're going to be focused on the mansion. It's not here anymore.
Right.
So ask what happened to it. If we get the what, we will often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that tragedy occurred. I just gave you a clue that it was a tragedy. So what we're going to do is...
That's why it's not here anymore.
Right. So we are going to spread... we're gonna spread out. Is that what you have? Capture.
Capture. Haze? Haze is weird.
So sad.
Oh, this is freaking me out.
Oh wait, it's gonna get worse. Like this is very vague stuff. But yeah, let's spread out. Find us some good hotspots. Start asking questions. Same thing goes with you. Start asking questions.
Just around
focus.
this whole area right
Yep.
here?
We're gonna stay within the confines of the lot. Just stay away from the cars. People are walking around. Don't film them. Very simple rules, right?
Okay. Well,
Let's go explore the dumpster. I need you in the video so I can see if there's a ghost. How's your spirit box? Let's go check by these parking spots. What? And if these parking spots could be haunted.
so we should just walk around.
Oh yeah, just walk around a bit. So what do you got now? So the look to the left. What's interesting is you had the word capture earlier. See, this is where I come in. I'm going to kind of normally give you all of the answers when we reveal, but I'm going to tell you why I'm only interested in the word left and not look to the left. If you were to ask what color is a big red barn and you get Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, that thing is slowed down. We only need the red. So you saying look to the left, is that what you heard? I only went to the left because one of the sons was actually in a Revolutionary War battle. He was shot in his left leg after he was captured by the British. So you can see where left and capture now tie in. The name is probably going to show up. You probably already missed it, but it might show up on the word list as well. So I'm actually really excited right now because we haven't heard from that son in a while. So I'm not going to tell you what the son's name is, just in case it does pop up. So I'm actually a little bit excited. Not to mention she's got some pretty good hotspots with her getting upgraded. So she's been up to a 73. Like that's super high for the spot. We normally want to see like up to a 22. So just kind of starting to see how the breadcrumbs start to fall together. So you're on the right track. Again, listening volume up and down. You're gonna play with it all night long, I'm sure, so you can hear me and that. So I'll shut up so you can listen in. Sophia, have you seen anything else weird on there yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Again, we just record slowly. I do the spot check. We'll see if anything comes up out of it. You do have your red button that looks like a square now, right? Not a circle?
Yeah.
Perfect. Just to make sure she's on recorder when I'm missing. You got a 26. That's good. We got 5 minutes of this spot and kind of see what we got. noticing that the colors fluctuate when you
Yeah.
move it around a little bit?
We're in so deep.
So far, the only cold things are the cars and the buildings.
What was that number?
38.
Yeah, that thing is on fire tonight. So hopefully we're just missing a lot. Like again, that son's name, it's got to be in there. It has to be. She is pretty active.
Oh man, me too now.
What do you got coming through now? Anything crazy?
Headaches. We both have headaches.
You all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We both. She said as soon as I walked in the parking lot, I got a headache.
Okay. So this cause for us to pretty much wrap it up.
Okay.
Because again, that thing is on fire tonight. So it doesn't always do that. Just so you know, we don't always see those high numbers for like extended periods of time. 26 to 38 to 73 to 41. All the numbers that I wrote down. It's all pretty high. Let's see. I want to give Athena like one more minute because I'm really hoping she has a couple of clues, but I want to tie it all up with
So she's close to.
with what's going on here tonight. What's fun for me is
Robert?
No.
Arnold. Hey,
I know, right?
I know you're really sticking with the bath here. I get it. Bath.
I don't know. It's a W name, and I couldn't hear if it was Williams or Willis or Wilson.
Okay. We'll leave that one alone because you're not 100% sure. But yeah, because of their headaches, I'm going to call this one. So let's kind of move right back to where we started over here. So go ahead and hit stop on yours. Sophia, give your hands a break. You do really well with rhythm.
Are they in skin tone?
Absurd.
It's Saturday night
look
and it's
in
going to
it
be
first.
very, very busy.
Yeah, this
the
is
whole
really
time.
beautiful place though.
Just turn around, you gotta look in it.
I was actually going to take this out of my route, but I decided not to. Just because
Stay right there and see.
what it is. We will be near a place of raised emotion for this particular spirit. Every location we go to from here moving forward. So it'll be the bleed over when we go up around the corner. I can't take you all the way through. I'll explain as we kind of go through. 220.
Many man.
The weird thing about the 220, the guy did die at 22 years old, so it's almost like we have in reverse. So we have the 20 and then the 2 before. So you can kind of hear my brain's like, it's such a stretch, but I like it. So here's how the story goes. We all tell the same damn story down here. And Sophia, you don't need to like stay turned around. Just so you know, like the camera can just kind of go off to the side. You can just kind of do a little flipperoonie. You want to? There you go. Look at you. Now you're on it. This way you can pay attention. I don't think you think that I'm a jerk. Here's how this story goes. Now the camera's on your right, you gotta flip it around. There you go. Yeah, YouTube doesn't like the flippies, so I try to make sure the camera's always on the left. Here's how the story goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. In the event that the song Brown Eyed Girl shows up on Athena's spirit box, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name. You get it all the time, just so you know. But anyway, Dr. Ladd moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he, I don't know. I'm going to look into that name, and now that you have that, because we are near a cemetery, it might be a little bit of bleed over. I don't know. So again, I'll dive into it and see if there's anything there. If there is, you obviously have a link. If there's not, it'll just be in the list. But back to Dr. Ladd. Amanda basically tells him, you need to go because my attorney thinks that you're just after my money. Can you prove him wrong? So he comes down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. So he comes down here from Rhode Island, and on his way into town, he had a coachman. The coachman set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay here in Charleston. same initials as where the doctor came from, Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. We were getting the letters RI all the time on the red sphere box. I do have another device that acts like a digital Ouija board. Anytime it's an EMF spike, it gives us a letter. So that way we can see if it's going to spell things out for us. I can't tell you how many times we've had RI since I bought that new device. However, it's not always productive, which is exactly why we're not using it tonight. It's back at the office. Back to Ralph. He tells Dr. Ladd, I know this man, coachman. He is going to try to kill you. Come with me. We're going to go to 59 Church Street, and you're going to rent a room from these friends of mine, and you're safe and good to go. Doc took him up on the offer, and they became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own. She gets wind of this from Rhode Island. She's coming down soon so they can be married. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is why I hate the story. It's a giant cliche. No matter what haunted city you're going to visit, we all have a cliche whistling ghost. Ours just happens to be a doctor. There is some validity to it. I'm going to get to it. So why are we in this particular alley? This used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur in the city of Charleston. You're upside down again. There you go. So, Dueler's Alley. Dr. Ladd and Ralph went to go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money out of the hierarchy of Charleston. So he gets better seats. On their way home from seeing Richard III one night, they are arguing over the new actress that they just saw. Dr. Ladd thought she was great, Ralph did not. During that argument, Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly between the two of them, and they went their separate ways. So, Ralph has friends at the newspaper, and he asks them to go place an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Doc saw the ad, but rebuttal with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this, and somebody's going to die. So they came down here, they went back to back, took their 10 paces, and turned, and the doctor points his gun in the air. Shot. He didn't want to kill his friend, he just needed the courage and bravery to show up to the fight. And Ralph has his one bullet still, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doc doesn't die, fell to the ground. Ralph proved his point. He's still pissed off. Doc's friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. One thing about that last statement I just gave you, it's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than they are now. This guy is also a doctor. Probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but obviously he failed because he died. Now, he was 22 years old, and I'm actually still pretty excited about that 220, even though it's kind of a stretch. But everybody tells their, like all the tour guides tell their guests to listen for the whistles. We have a camera running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, more than likely it's going to come up on one of these two devices. However, on Athena's device, I can't tell you how many times I've stumbled across the whistling part of a song and the word doctor immediately after from a commercial. It happens all the time. When I spot check your guys' media, it's minute 1, 5, 10, 15, you see the pattern. So if I stumble across it, again, I don't find it coincidental because I have a rhythm to my madness. So if you're going to try this on your own, and you're going to walk all the way through the alley, I can't take you through all, I'm going to tell you there in a minute, but listen for those whistles using the voice recorders from your phone. Just remember, every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down the alley. It's just something we do here. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're going to try this on your own. Here's how I got booted out of here. Here's the fun part. We got to get Sophia to laugh at some point in time. So we got to get her at least to chuckle. So the alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there. The reason why is because this was called Cow Alley. This was before Dueler's Alley. They kept all the livestock down here. So why am I telling you this? They started down there by Queen Street and slowly worked their way to where we're standing. Those bricks are older than the ones we're standing on. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child in one of those bricks down there, and fingerprint swipes in others. I used to take my bricks all the way through for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that brick. You know how I feel about cemeteries. That kid's not going to be there. It's the last place you're going to find him.